Mark Thompson lived a quiet life in Willow Creek Estates, a serene neighborhood where the morning sun painted the lake gold. A software engineer who thrived on routine, Mark preferred the hum of his keyboard to the chaos of homeowner politics. His battles were minor, debugging code or cleaning spilled coffee. But the lake behind his house was his haven. Every Sunday, he'd carry a chair, a thermos, and a fishing rod to the shore, not for the catch but for the peace it brought. One Sunday, as Mark cast his line, a boy, maybe 9, with dirt-streaked cheeks and curious eyes, wandered over. Timmy, from 3 houses down, stared at the rod like it was a magic wand. "Can I try?" he asked. Mark smiled, handed him the rod, and taught him the flick of the wrist. Minutes later, the bobber danced. Together, they reeled in a tiny perch, its scales glinting. Timmy's gasp echoed across the water. "I caught it!" he shouted, beaming. They snapped a photo, released the fish, and Timmy ran home, yelling, "Mom, I caught a fish!" The moment felt perfect, simple, human, right. But perfection doesn't last in Willow Creek. Monday brought a letter, sealed with the HOA's emerald stamp. Mark tore it open, expecting a routine notice. Instead, it was a violation. Unauthorized recreational fishing. Section 14C. Fine, $1,900. Repeat offenses will lead to legal action and loss of lake access. Mark reread it, stunned. $1,900 for 10 minutes of kindness? The lake, his sanctuary, now felt like a trap. The HOA was ruled by Eleanor Vance, chairwoman for 15 years. To some, she was order incarnate, her clipboard a scepter, her rules a shield against chaos. To others, she was a tyrant, patrolling the neighborhood with a gaze that missed nothing. Her sunglasses hid her eyes, but her tight smile betrayed her power. Mark, still believing in reason, called her. "There's been a mistake," he said, explaining Timmy's fish. Eleanor's voice was ice. "Rules don't bend for sentiment, Mr. Thompson. You fished without a permit." The fine stands. She mentioned footage, cameras had caught him. The call ended abruptly, leaving Mark staring at his phone, not angry yet, but awake. Something shifted in him, a spark of defiance. Mark wasn't impulsive, but he was precise. That night, he dove into the HOA's 134-page bylaws, a labyrinth of control, fence heights, lawn ornaments, even excessive holiday lights. Then, in Section 10, he found it. The lake wasn't HOA property. It was a municipal conservation zone, leased for $120 a year since 1999. The lease expired in 2 months. The HOA didn't own the lake, they rented it, yet acted like kings. Mark's pulse quickened. This wasn't just a fine. It was a lie. He didn't sleep. By dawn, he drafted a plan. Mark called the city's property office, reaching a clerk named Susan. "Is the Willow Creek Lake lease renewed?" he asked. A pause, then. "No, it's up for review." "You're the first to ask in decades." Mark submitted a proposal, quadruple the lease rate, add benches, a new dock, open access, no permits, no fences. The city, tired of HOA complaints, jumped at it. Within 24 hours, an email arrived. "Mr. Thompson, your lease is approved. The HOA's agreement is terminated. You now control Willow Creek Lake." Mark read it thrice, heart pounding. In one day, he turned a $1,900 fine into dominion over the lake. But he didn't gloat. He called Eleanor. "Effective tomorrow, the HOA has no lake access," he said calmly. Silence stretched, then her voice cracked. "You're bluffing. Check your paperwork," Mark replied, hanging up. The power had shifted, and he hadn't raised his voice. The next morning, city crews descended. HOA signs, private property, members only, vanished. Padlocks were cut. A new notice stood. Under new management. Respect access rules. Eleanor fought back, firing off emails, calling lawyers, even pitching a story to a local blog about it. Rogue homeowner. But the city held firm. The lease was Mark's. The HOA's reign was over. Mark didn't stop there. He sent a letter to Eleanor. As leaseholder, I revoke HOA access to the lake house. Vacate within 48 hours. The lake house, a shed-turned-HOA stronghold, held their files, their meetings, and their control. Eleanor scrambled, but custom meant nothing without a contract. At hour 49, Mark arrived with a locksmith and a city officer. The lake house was empty, its musty air heavy with defeat. A corkboard bore a faded, "Authorized access only" sign. Mark taped up his own. "Public access encouraged. HOA privileges revoked." He locked the door and walked away. The neighborhood noticed. Signs gone, gates open, the lake alive again. A mother asked about kids' fishing classes. A carpenter donated tables. No one mentioned the HOA, they knew it was done. Mark organized. First fish day. A casual event with rods and certificates. Families came, laughing, casting lines. Timmy was there, taller, clutching his rod. "You remember me?" he asked. "Of course," Mark said. Timmy's mom whispered. "He still talks about that fish, and the man who fought for it." The lake became a community again. No fines, no clipboards, just people. Mark never sought power, only fairness. He'd used the HOA's rules against them, exposing their fragility. Neighbors whispered his story: one fish, one man, one revolution. Was he a hero or a rebel? Did he save the lake or settle a score? The truth lay in the ripples. Kindness shouldn't cost $1,900, and rules should serve people, not cage them. What do you think? Was Mark's quiet rebellion justice or revenge? Should he have paid the fine and moved on, or was his fight worth it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your take on standing up to petty power. Like and subscribe for more stories where the underdog flips the script.